stop loss is your guardian, not your enemy. A lot of traders, myself included, actually feels like having a stop loss is holding us back, while in reality, it's actually not. Maybe you've gone through several scenarios that make you feel like your stop loss is not your guardian, but your enemy. But honestly speaking, it is. A stop loss is actually going to prevent you or protect you against some unforeseen circumstances. For example, we already know the market is unpredictable, meaning that it's very unpredictable in different ways, right? You can't be right in the market 100% of the time. And the stop loss is the thing that actually keeps us on the right side in case we're wrong. Personally, for me, coming into trading, the way I started made me actually feel like my stop loss is my enemy in the sense that when I started with some IML, which who did well, they didn't really know what they were doing. They take a trade, let's say they're selling from here, they never have a stop loss. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. I know all of that, right? So I think those things got into my head, and sometimes actually I still find myself taking trades without actually defining my stop loss or imputing my stop loss. Sometimes I just feel like I have a mental stop loss, but for me, having a mental stop loss never really works. For those who don't know, a mental stop loss is literally, let's say for example, I am taking a trade from here, I'm taking a trade from here, right? I'm like, if price gets to this zone, I'm going to close, right? But most times, what price does is price comes to this zone, the mental stop loss, I'm supposed to close, but I never close. I just let it be. But then I start to hope and I start to pray, basically, like most traders, we actually just come here instead of us to just close, take the 1K or the 500 losses, we just allow this thing to keep going, right? So something happened to me recently that also made me realize this: a stop loss is not your enemy, man. Let's say, for example, let's use the scenario of, let's say you're a Viking or a gladiator. As a Vikings, you're going into war. I would consider your stop loss as your armor. The things the Vikings normally wear that protects them from sword. For example, let's say they're fighting. When the sword pierces, because of the armor, it doesn't go too deep because the armor is actually there to protect it. So I would consider the stop loss as that, right? When you wear those things, or if you've ever lifted any one of them, if you've gone to a museum, you see that they're actually very heavy. So I feel like maybe some of them might have thought that, what's the point of wearing this if it's heavy, if it just feels like it's adding pressure to my journey or to my fight, right? But in reality, it's actually protecting the gladiator or the Viking, right? So I think as a trader or as traders, we need to consider it like this. On the other hand, I would also consider a stop loss as a seat belt, right? When you're driving a car, you feel like everything is good. Sometimes we don't even want to wear a seat belt, but in times of accident, that seat belt might actually save your life. So you should consider your stop loss like that. Stop loss and risk to reward actually goes together, for example, right? Your stop loss is going to determine your risk to reward. For example, as you already know, I'm always aiming for 1 to 6, right? Let's say I'm taking a trade right here. Let's say I'm shorting from here. My stop loss obviously would be above this high, which would be like, let's just put it at 25 pip, 20.5 pip, because I always add 0.5 to my stop loss. So let's assume this is the stop loss, which is 21.5. And so I took a trade right here. I got stopped out, right? If you notice, price just wicked and then it went to 1 to 6, right? So what tend to happen next time is, let's say for example, this is just a general scenario, right? Let's say you're a trader right here. You had a limit right here. Price came in, stops you out, which is a wick, then goes straight into your TP, right? Here you feel like the stop loss is against you, right? It's your enemy. So the next time what happens is, let's say for example, the same thing happened here. You got a setup right here. Okay, let's just say right here. I'm gonna clone this. So let's say you had a setup right here. So because of this incident, when price comes in here, you'll be like, okay, since price just whipped the zone before, maybe no need for me to impute a stop loss because maybe price is just going to do the same thing here. But what happened next, you were not expecting it, right? So price just comes in, blows up, did a big ass week, which would have been literally against you, right? Let's say you were aiming for 1 to 6. This is literally like negative -4, -5, right? So if you had no stop loss, closing this would have been a disaster, right? It would have been very, very difficult for you. So the best option is always impute your stop loss no matter what. Don't have a mental stop loss. Always have the exact stop loss imputed. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because stop loss is literally going to save you more time than it's going to hurt you, right? A stop loss is also going to help you determine your risk to reward. Let's say, for example, you took 5 losses. If you have a really decent risk to reward, it shouldn't matter, right? It shouldn't matter. You just need to always impute it. So another scenario would be not just weeks. Sometimes the weeks makes you feel like it's your enemy, but in reality it's not. It's just the market, right? It's unpredictable. You wouldn't have, like, for example, like I explained here, might have gone the opposite way, right? So another thing that also makes some traders feel like stop loss is against them. We've had this scenario being stopped out by spread. For example, I've had several trades. I don't know if I can go back, but let's just give an example, right? I'm just going to go somewhere here. So for example, doing Asia section, I think most of you might have experienced this too. Doing Asian section, for me, I'm in Europe, so basically I trade London section. So doing Asian session, the spread tends to wide, right? So for example, you could be in a trade right here, price went down, and then doing Asia, this one you just see right here, some spike will just happen, takes you out, then goes straight to your target, right? This actually happened to me on EURAUD, I think somewhere last month, right? I got stopped out. Price never came into my stop loss, but I got stopped out. And this will make you think like, okay, next time I'm not going to impute a stop loss because the Asian spreads keep messing me up. What if I had not had a stop loss? I wouldn't have been stopped out, right? That's actually the mentality I had when that happened to me. But in reality is, you never know what's going to happen, right? You could also take a trade without a stop loss, and then the market opens and it gaps. For those who don't know what's a gap, I'm just going to show you an example right here. I think, yeah, the market, what broker is this? I'm just going to go to another broker real quick. USD called, okay, FXCM. So the market gapped in here. So this is basically a gap. What happened was, let's say you're selling from here, right? You didn't have a stop loss. Your stop loss was supposed to, okay, let's just go like this. Short. Okay, let's say you were selling, you had a trade right here, right? Your stop loss was supposed to be somewhere here. You never had a stop loss, you just got into the trade. The market opens, it gaps like this. Although even if you have a stop loss, this gap would have actually stopped you out somewhere here, because the market literally opened right here. This would have actually stopped you out. And if you had no stop loss, that would have even been worse. Another example was this usage gap, right? Let's say you were selling right here, you never had a stop loss, the market opened right here, you would have been smoked, right? Although the gap or the slippage, this is actually a slippage, it's going to mess you a bit, but without a stop loss, it's going to be super crazy, right? You're going to be like, what is happening? So the point of this video is to tell you, if you're a trader out there seeing a stop loss as a burden, I'm just here to tell you that it's not a burden. You should master the art of imputing the stop loss right now, because if it compounds, it builds an habit in your head that's going to make you lose a lot of money. Trust me, it's going to make you lose money you didn't plan on losing. And let's say, for example, you're risking 1K, you're thinking about losing 1K because you have a stop loss. That 1K could easily turn to 10K. Trust me, it could even easily turn to 20K, right? So the point is, always impute a stop loss. It's one of the habits of successful traders, right? It's literally your guardian. Like I said, it's your guardian, right? I have a quote right here on my screen from McDonald's. It says, successful trading is not about being right all the time. It's about cutting your losses and letting your winners run. So cutting your losses means imputing a stop loss. Once you have a stop loss, be it mental, I wouldn't suggest a mental, be it mental or a fixed stop loss, you need to impute that, because it's literally what separates the winners from the losers, right? Being able to accept the loss is one thing, right? So you need to be able to fix that. And I don't know who this video might help, but I just had the urge to make this video, and I wanted to help someone out there. So if you were to take just one thing off this video, is no matter what you're doing, impute a stop loss. It's going to save you a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of wasted energy. It's going to save you from a bunch of headaches. So treat your stop loss as your guardian, not your enemy. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to sub. If you like the video, give it a thumb up. See you in the next one. Bless.